Data analysis is fun, to say the least, if you are doing it right with results. It is interesting to note that everyone with knowledge in IT can actually click a button or write a code to output mathematical results when data is fed into it. So, as a data analyst, you probably would have your own style of doing things and getting results. So, in my world, I'm going to teach you what I do and how I position my code. So I have a few tricks on my own which I want to share with you. First, I create folders for every project that I have to do. So that is the first step that we need to look at. So create a folder for every project that you have. It looks unclean and gets messy if you have several projects running at the same time or you have saved them in the same folder for so long. Time to come, you are going to be searching for things and you cannot find it because every place is looking messy and you probably would have forgotten the names you have given to some of the files. Okay, so let's say we have one project called my project for now. So my project is the name of the folder that I want to give to my project, the project I'm working currently. So every document that I have related to that project, I will put it inside this particular folder. Okay, so in let's call it the project root folder, I create additional folders to store different categories of documents. So in my case, I have such subfolders as raw data, so where I keep all my raw data. What do I mean by raw data? So what I mean is that if a client has given you data to do analysis, that particular data file, you do not want to make changes to it because something can happen and you want to go back to the original. You don't have to go downloading it all over again or asking whoever gave you this work, sorry, I made changes to my data, so can you resend to me? It looks weird. So you will need to keep this file safe. So if you are not lucky to have that data entered for you, then you will have to do the entries yourself. And I personally like to use Epidata because it's very simple and very small. Okay, so I just have to do the coding and employ data entry clicks and show them what to do, and the errors are minimized. Today we have CS Pro that is being used with Android phones. So that is another way of collecting your data. So you can actually program in that CS Pro and have somebody help you in doing these entries. Whichever one that it is, you would want to keep this original data safe and unchanged. Now, another folder I would like to create is what I call the clean data. What do I mean by clean data? Clean data here is what you have done to the raw data to make it ready for your analysis. Data analysis, per se, it takes data cleaning. Let me be specific. If to clean the data, put it in the form ready for analysis, it takes approximately, let's say, 80% of the time. Okay, so running the code to give you the results doesn't take time, but getting the data itself ready to do this particular analysis that you want, it will take you a very long time to organize that. So it is very important stage which the analysts need to spend more time on and take every small detail very seriously. So if the data is compromised in the course of this process, your results as a whole can be unreliable and very difficult to detect. I tell you. So the advice is to take this stage very seriously and pay more attention to very small details. The data in its raw state should not be modified as I indicated before. Whatever changes there is to be made should be done and saved in the clean data folder, whilst the content of the raw data folder remains in its original state. So that said, what next do we need? We need a results folder. As you're going to be doing the analysis, you will need to keep your results somewhere. I do not want to mix my results with any other file. So if I want results, I go to that folder, open it, and then I pick up my results. So basically, this particular folder is supposed to be storing results for you. The results, you can save it in a format that every word processor can actually open it, or you can save your results in the form of an Excel. So whichever format that you want, you go ahead and then do that. I am using Stata. So what I am going to be doing, the demonstrations that I'm going to be doing is going to be based on Stata. Generally, the idea is that whatever software that you're using for your analysis, the procedure or the positioning of your files should be general, should be the same. So there is no point saying I am not using Stata, so because of that, I cannot follow what you are saying. No, this is generic. So now the next folder I would want to create is the images folder. What is stored in the images folder? Now you're going to be graphing along the way. You're going to be producing a lot of graphs. Now, most of the times, the software that we are using to do the analysis, the one who has asked you to do this analysis probably do not have that software. So you would want to save your graphs in a way that that person can actually open it. In order for me to be able to fetch my graphs, I create a folder called the images folder. So I can save my graphs in any other form, in the picture format, in PDF format, or in the format specific to the software. So that whoever that is viewing this particular results, you can actually open all the images to see the graphs that is plotted in the course of the analysis. So this gives the client more comfort and flexibility of using the results without requiring further help in opening and editing any of the image files produced. The last but not the least folder I would want to create in this particular project folder is resources. Sometimes the data comes with other information that is relevant to doing the analysis. For example, the very basic information the client might give you, it's the objectives of the study. The data is provided and the objectives of the study is provided. So if there are any other information relevant for you to read and understand what the project is all about, you can put all those files inside the resource folder. Okay, so with this one, you have different folders keeping different material. So after this, what next? What do I do next? The next thing I would want to do is to actually define the levels of my code. So how do I define the levels of my code? Let me show you that in another video so I do not have to make very long, lengthy videos. So I will see you in this next video to show you how you can actually um, section your code in order to get results as you go along with your analysis.